All right, look, bro. I won't lie. I'm about to like drop some back-to-back bangers, yeah. So these are gonna be the best builds in the whole game. Like no debate. Busted as fuck. You know what I'm saying? In base and in mode. And I was underplaying some of the reses, but for the most part, my res tier list is pretty up there. I was not underplaying Stark. Stark is actually kind of worse than I thought. Like once you pop guns, once you're out of gun mode, you can't really. You're like you turn into a bot. You know what I'm saying? But it's all right. It's all right. We're not talking about resins, okay? So we're talking about the best builds in the game. A lot of these are gonna be a wrong card builds, you know. And you need Vasto, you need the 5 SP. And after playing like almost every build in the game, I haven't played a few. I do have a Quincy account that I'm making. It's almost max. I think it's gonna be like the best Quincy build. We're not gonna actually. It'll probably be in this video. All right, look. So first, at the top of this list, we're gonna go wrong card keto. Okay. Okay. Now watch this. 40 keto. Okay. And then I'll do like something like this: 40 keto, 25 medic. Okay. Now, look. You might be confused. Why is this why am I doing 40 medic? I'm at 25. Why am I doing 25 medic? You might be a little confused. But bro, okay, so this is the build, right? It's gonna take you a lot of skill box rerolls. Believe it or not, your skill boxes do reroll every time. It's not a bug. You're just really unlucky. It took me a couple rerolls to get what I wanted. So for your keto skill box, you can take anything. Okay, for your keto skill box, you can take Lava Burner. You could take Zero Fireflies. You can take Hollow Bite. They're all good. But the best one, the one that you want, is going to be Fireflies to keep up that constant pressure, and it has a long range. Follow Burner is nice because it guard breaks, and Hollow Bite is also nice because you could stack it with other moves and make it guard break. But that's going to be what you want from Keto. You're going to want Fireflies at the top, and then everything else is equal. Fireflies is going to be the skill box that you want. And then Medic, you're going to want Discord. Now, this is like all luck dependent, all RNG. If you roll this, I promise you, you're one-shotting everybody. Discord gives you a 20% damage buff. It is not blockable, not dodgeable, not parryable, and it lasts for as long as the cooldown, meaning it basically has no cooldown. Okay? So you have a 20% buff on everybody at all times. You have 20% damage buff. You have Sterile Infuse, which removes people's defense and gives you a slight damage buff. And then you have a Ronkar Keto, which in general does a bunch of damage. Sterile Fireflies alone, like if it gets up to 5 stacks, there's like a bar to everybody. It does like a bar to everybody. So like with a 20% damage buff, you do like almost a bar and a half. All your skills would do insane amount of damage. The only problem is you're kind of slow, but it doesn't really matter. You could boss raid, you could do whatever because you just have to target one person and then go crazy. So for the partials that you want for this, the best one is gonna be slash partial. You're gonna want Byakko and Ravage because you can pop Discord on somebody and then just use Byakko, Ravage, and then do Bala Barrage, and that's half the HP guaranteed. Or you could another partial that works is if you get Hollow Bite, you wanna go for Bone. Bone is really good. Okay, so you wanna go for Bone. But Slash would be on top, then Bone, and then another partial that would be really good for this keto build is Stark. Stark because it has the hyper armor. You want Z and X. It has the hyper armor and Sonido. The Sonido guns gives you a little movement speed. Like it lets you get shifty. You know what I'm saying? And it applies posture damage. So you could Fireflies into the guns, and that's in the guarantee block break, etc., etc. You're gonna want to be a Vasto, and that's the build. You're gonna just be one-shotting everybody. I promise you. This build is broken as fuck. Do not use high speed regen because even though you have preserve reserves, you're gonna run out of ray. It's not like I mean, it's not too bad. You could use it when you're like super low and you have a lot of ray left, and you want to stay alive for a health pack. So that's what you use high speed regen for. You can put it in a hotbar. All right, next build, yo. Next build. This build is also crazy. Rankar Keto again. Actually, no, it's not really a Rankar Keto. It's a Rankar Speed. Okay, you're gonna want to go 40 speed, and 25 keto. Now, now. This build is fun as yo. It is fun as hell. Like, bro, I'm telling you, you're gonna have the time of your life on this. For skill boxes, you want Cero Fireflies and Hollow Bite. Okay, you want 2 keto skill boxes, or you can go Hollow Bite and Ghost Cleave. That also works. Hollow Bite and Ghost Cleave is also nice. And for the partial, the only like the partial you're gonna want is bone. You're gonna want bone or slash, but bone at the top. You're gonna want bone, and then for your partials, you're gonna want spline, the Z, and rupturing. But the C also works. All you need really is the Z. You want the Z, and then it doesn't matter what else you get. So what you're gonna want to do is use spline and then use hollow bite, or use hollow bite first and then use spline. It doesn't really matter. I say use spline first. Use spline and then use hollow bite, and that should guard break. Okay, and if it doesn't, you want to use Cero Fireflies. That's if you have Cero Fireflies. Like this build is infinite posture break. They can't breathe. Okay, so all you want to do is Cero Fireflies, hollow bite, spline. Boom, that's their posture gone. And then you're gonna want to have Cero grab. Okay, so once you break their posture, if they ever get guard broken with hollow bite or anything, you want to use Cero grab. And then after Cero grab, you want to wait half a second and then use fast fang. Cero grab and the fast fang is true. And then after you use fast fang, you can just freestyle from there. Use your crit. You want Ulquiorra crit is the best for basically all these builds. Null Lance is also really good, but you want to use Ulquiorra crit, and you just want to mix people. Okay, you're still gonna do a lot of damage because of keto skills and your Cero grab and fast fang. You could also use floating strikes, but you're gonna do good damage. You're gonna want to use your M1s a lot, but this build is fun. It's like you can boss raid, you can target one person easily and like put them down real quick because it's infinite posture break. There's not much you can do about this. Okay, but like it's fun. It's like I want to say it's like it's not like broken. It's just really fun because realistically you could go um 40 keto and then 25 speed instead. But that's the next build I'm gonna talk about. Next, Rankar Keto again, best tree in the game if you couldn't tell already. 40, you want to go 40 that, and then 25 speed. Okay. Now this build is the build like most Vastos are running right now. It's broken. You want to roll? You can roll Cero Fireflies and Hollow Bite on this, and you can also roll Cero Fireflies and Ghost Cleave. Okay, and then you want to go like Tri-Cero or something. So all you do is basically spam posture breaks. Bone is really good for this, and Flash is really good for this. You want to spam posture breaks, Cero Fireflies into Hollow Bite, into Spline, into Bala Drive, and the Tri-Cero, Cero Skirts. Like you're gonna do a lot of damage. This is like a very high damage build. Almost as high damage as the Rankar Keto Medic, but the Rankar Keto Medic's like a lot more damage. But this build is very reliable. It's the safest. Like this is the safest Basta build because you don't even know how to play the game. You just like it's just autopilot. It's the safest. You still have the speed. You have the Phantom Trick. You can move around people. You could still do a lot of damage. You have a bunch of auto tracks, and then you could even get Ghost Cleave for hyper armor. So that build's broken. All right, next, another Rankar build. This is only like super strong for 1v1s, but it can boss rate. Arrancar Kendo, 50. These are all Vastos. I just want to say this is all Vasto. And 15 speed. Okay? So you get Mortal Ties. Let me just do this. This build is real tough, real tough, real tough. You get Mortal Ties and you get Pressure Shift. And you get like a little speed. You can like kind of keep up with people. Skill boxes, you want Eviscerate and Sonata Flow. Crescent Release also works, but you mostly just want Eviscerate and Sonata Flow. You can Pressure Shift inside of your Mortal Ties or outside. Like you basically have the entire Kendo's tree, and you can play both Kendo styles, which is why it's so broken. Like you get a little speed, you can Pressure Shift for a counter, and they did buff Pressure Shift, so it's actually pretty nice. And then you have Mortal Ties, which is really broken in 1v1s in general. And if you're a Vasto, your Cero is going to do a lot of damage and still shoot out pretty fast because you have the 15 speed. All right, the next build we're going to go with, I think that's enough like a wrong card build, low key. But they are the strongest. Oh, for your partials for the Kendo build, you're going to want Acid to stack Poison or Slash. Bone is okay. Stark is pretty good too for when you're in Mortal Ties. But Acid is really good for stacking poison damage, and Slash is good for confirming Mortal Ties because you can Byakko into Mortal Ties. And what else? Next build is gonna be Blood, Dagger Blood, Medic is actually broken. Dagger Blood Medic is actually broken. Dagger Blood Medic, you go 50 Medic, 50, and you go 5 Kendo for brace, and then you can go 5 speed or 5 Hito. Now the reason why this is so broken is because you have more sustain than everybody else in the game. You can out sustain a Espada, and I have proof of this. I already did this on the build. You have more sustain than basically everybody in the game. And you can beat Mortal Ties. It's just really hard, but you have insane sustain. The reason this is so broken is because Bloody Canvas, the medic skill, it basically doubles your blood regen, and then if you self heal on top of that, you basically get full in like 15 seconds. This is like the infinite regen build. It has its counters. The counters to this would be Quincy Speed and Mortal Ties. Those are like the only two consistent counters. Quincy Speed is the counter because of Cutlass. But yeah, it has counters. You know, you're tanky, you have infinite regen, and your skills take no array because of blood. This build is also broken. This is like the only broken SR base build. Every other SR base is pretty mediocre compared to the rest of these. Like this build could fight most of these builds. Okay. Next is gonna be my fear build. So you want to go Quincy Speed, and you want Cutlass. Quincy Speed, 40 Speed, and 20 Keto. Now this build is broken because you can do high posture damage. You have an auto. You don't need Spectre Steps, but you need to have fear. Like you need to have fear. You don't need Spectre Steps because of fear. Fear is an auto tracking Spectre Steps that guard breaks, and then you can just combo and after. So the basic combo is like, and crit removes defense. Now basic combo is like you land your crit, you do your G move, the ragdoll, you do your dash, your little auto tracking dash, which guard breaks, and then you do fast fang, or you can use wave shot, fast fang or wave shot. And the reason why this is so good is because you can play speed to like its max potential. You have the max amount of speed you can have, and you can spam. You can run and spam, but you can also move spam and like get aggressive with it. Wave shot basically disables like their flash step and makes them move super slow. And then slide, you use it to restore your arrows and just like hit them, like poke them a little bit, but you usually just restore the arrows and then use it to poke. With Let Still, this is literally God. You do so much damage because of Cutlass and Fear. And Fear is just broken right now. Fear is like so broken. It's kind of crazy. But it's still under those builds. So I personally think these are the best builds in the game right now. Some like these are like some honorable mentions. Arrancar Kido. I mean not Arrancar Kido, Arrancar Hakuda. This Arrancar Hakuda is so broken, bro. 50-10. And you just have Bone. Arrancar Hakuda 50-10 with Bone. And if you're a Vasto, you can go 50-15 for Blooming Cut or like the extra speed. There's also another Arrancar Hakuda build that I can put up there for another honorable mention, but Arrancar Hakuda with Bone and Slash is so broken. It's just infinite posture damage, and you can like infinite up tilt, and then Spine Rend gives you basically a free evasive. But another honorable mention for Arrancar Hakuda would be Arrancar Hakuda Kido. Okay, there's Arrancar Hakuda Kido. This build is broken. It's it's definitely one of the best builds in the game, and there's multiple variations to this. Okay, so you can go two. This is for like non-Vastos. 2 Hakuda. Okay, 40 Kido. Rest speed. Now the reason this is good is because again, this is another posture breaking build. Okay, you want to get Bone, and then you want Seral Fireflies and Hollow Bite, or Seral Fireflies and Bottle Burner. And all you do is if you don't have like Captain Posture, this is like almost a guaranteed like one combo. You just Seral Fireflies, Bala Gum. True, that's a true guard break right there. Pull them into they're gonna block. It's gonna block break them. Okay. And then you're gonna have flash tension. It's gonna TP you behind them. You're gonna crit. It's gonna up tilt them, and then you're gonna use Seral Confinement, which is true in the air because you can't do anything. Seral Confinement, and then it's gonna pull them back to you. You're gonna Bottle Barrage, and then at the end you're gonna Bottle Drive, and that's basically like a one combo right there. And you're just gonna run around and wait for your cooldowns and repeat, and then there's nothing people can do about it because you can play passive, you can play aggressive. You can do everything. The build's broken. Okay. Next is a Vasto build honorable mention. I haven't played this build enough to put it at S tier, but you go 40 Kido, Arrancar Kido, 40, and then you go 25 Hakuda. This is another RNG build that can pay off if you roll the correct skill boxes. So you're gonna want to roll. You're gonna want to roll either like Death Flare and Seral Fireflies, or Hollow Bite and Shori. You don't really want Gehenna, but Gehenna isn't too bad. And for your Kido, you're gonna want Seral Fireflies or Hollow Bite, and then you can just infinite posture build up into a crit, and then start one comboing. You know what I mean? And if you get Death Flare, you can do like some crazy air combos. That's another Vasto build right there. So as you can see, this entire like tier list is all Arrancars because Arrancar is broken. And then there's a one Quincy build. Quincy speed is also another honorable mention, just like 50-10 Quincy with anything else. Like 50 Quincy speed, 50 speed, and then 10 Kido. That's a basic Quincy build, but it's really broken because of Cutlass. Cutlass basically just removes all the debuffs that speed has because you get the damage. And I'm trying to think of some Soul Reaper builds. Most Soul Reaper builds aren't really threats, but there is a few Soul Reaper builds that are threat. Shadow Kendo, 50, and then 10 speed. This build is it's an OG build, but it's broken as fuck. Mortal Ties, Shadow Tendril into Mortal Ties is true, and then you have your Shadow moves for infinite posture damage, a bunch of guard breaks. You can do some crazy mix up with this, especially if you get visored. Visored with Kendo gets the most buffs out of all the like mini modes because Kendo has like all the buffs and visored for some reason. They have 2 ragdolls and like a bunch of damage buffs. But yeah, that and also water Kendo, mortal ties, water Kendo 50, 10. The real big counters to 50 Kendo and 10 speed is builds that have a lot of movement and can run away and just run away and spam. That's the real counter to these 2 builds right here. Because if you can't get it close enough to confirm your mortal ties, you're kind of doomed. But if you do confirm your mortal ties, then they are doomed. Another good Soul Reaper base is trying to think here. Besides blood, like blood anything. Okay, blood anything goes somewhere around like A or B. Blood literally anything is really good. It just depends on how you use it, but blood anything can be really good. But blood speed is really strong as well. Quincy speed is like just broken, and then like Quincy Hakuda is pretty good too. Quincy Hakuda 50, and then 10 speed, and then you need fear though. Fear Quincy Hakuda is really strong. So I'd put this at A tier. And what else? What else? So like I'm trying to like give you guys builds for every faction, but Arrancar just have the strongest bases. These are broken. By the way, these builds are all broken, like extremely broken in base. And then in res it all depends on in mode it all depends on the player. So like Bone Res is broken. It can beat most Bankais. Bone Res is broken. The only thing it will struggle against is if you like don't play it. If you don't play it right, the only thing it struggles against, like bro, Bone is so broken because in res all you have to do is just run away, and use your auto tracking moves until you can confirm anything, and they all do insanely high damage. All your Bone skills do insanely high damage, and the C move, which is encasing, is really good. It is really good. You just run and spam with Bone until you can confirm insanely high damage combos. Bone can beat Ice. The only thing Bone would struggle against is Dagger Bankais. And you can kind of counter Blood if you just, like I said, Dagger like Bankai Blood. If you just don't get in the M1 range and constantly backpedal. Constantly. So, like, basically these builds are all broken in base. So that means you should be broken in mode too. You should be able to fight every mode with these builds. Besides like the ones in the best tier, with these builds like in the best tier, you should be able to fight every build if you play correctly. Like if you're good in your mode, you can fight every other mode, even if they're good as well. You will win because your base is stronger. Base is important in mode as well. But once you like get like really good at fighting other modes with your mode, you will understand why base is important in mode. So these are the best builds in the game. I don't know what else to say really. Soul Reapers are like bases. They're weak because they have no defense, but they can still one combo kind of. They can still do a lot of damage, but they have no type of defense. That's another reason why Rankar is so strong right now. But these are the best builds in the game. I've tested and played most of these. I have a Quincy Speed account, Dagger Blood account, a Rankar Kendo 5015 account. I have this one. I have this. I have this. I don't have this. I used to have it, but I blue pilled to go this. I don't like a Rankar Hakuda, personally. I don't like playing it. So I don't play it, but my friend does, and I know it's potential. I know it's broken. I've tried this. This is really fun and strong. Tried this. This is really good too. I don't know what else to say, what other builds to put up here, but these are the strongest builds in the game. And I want to put up clips for you guys, but this video is probably let's see, 44 minutes long. That's a lot of work. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, I'll do like some small edits. These are the strongest builds. Um, and then B tier and A tier honorable mentions. And I'm trying to think of last minute builds that are really strong on at least the story faction. Visor is pretty good, but the Shikais are all like every Shikai besides like Blood is pretty mid. Ice isn't all that either. Blood is the only like broken Shikai right now. So that's all I gotta say, bro. Good luck with y'all builds. Hopefully you guys take this with a grain of salt that some of these builds do require skill, but for the most part they're broken. And I have tested 80% of these. So don't even try to come at me, bro. Like everything I say it with purpose. Like if I say something is broken, it is actually broken. If I say something is ass, it's mid. It's either mid or it depends on the player. Like I'm telling you, my Bankai tier list is a great Bankai tier list. I don't know, like how to prove it to you guys besides the clips that I put in the tier list video. Like you just have to take my word for it. You know what I'm saying? And get better at using your mode, build, whatever.